to say? Oh, I lost my leg, not my sense of humor.
Howie Stulberg, welcome to my show, man. Really excited
Thank you
to
very
have you.
much, Peter.
You know, we've been talking for a while, and you've got some great stories to tell, man. So tell everyone listening, like, how did you get started in the business?
Well, I started as a concert goer in Madison Square Garden.
What was your first show?
My uncle was Sid Bernstein.
Oh, okay.
Now, if I needed, I was backstage at 10 years old, 12 years old. And when I was in high school, if the Who came to town, I need tickets. Got tickets. If Zeppelin came to town, I saw him every night. If the Stones came to town, I got tickets. I went to Madison. I got backstage at Max's Kansas City, at all the Academy of Music, the Palladium. I was a concert goer. I love music. My cousin Steve Borkham got me involved in it when I was very young. He was the promotion manager for Polydor Records, and he would take me to all the radio stations and promote the music. So anyway, I was about 19 years old. I was doing nothing. I was hanging around smoking my brains out.
Let me just ask you, what year was this?
The end of 78. The middle to the end of 78.
Gotcha.
He called me one day. He said, "You want to go on the road?" I don't know anything. If they teach me, I'll go. I got nothing to do. He said, "Did you ever hear of Buddy Rich?" I seen him on The Tonight Show. He's a real wise ass. Yeah, I liked him, the comedian. Yeah. So he said, "Pack a bag. You're meeting the band at the Paramount Hotel on 46th Street and 8th Avenue on Thursday. This is Monday night. I'm going on the road. Hey."
Perfect.
So I meet the band at the hotel. We go to pick Buddy up at the Lincoln Towers on Columbus Avenue. He comes down with his bags, gets on the bus. They introduce me. "This is Howie. Buddy, how are you?" And I hand him a joint. From there, we were friends. We smoked it. We had a great time. We traveled. We did about almost a year and a half on the road. Every state I've been in by bus. Go to the town, unpack it, do the show, put it back in the bus, go to another town. And that was my life. And
let me ask you, how big was that band at that time?
It was a 15-piece band, saxophone, trumpet, trombone, and trumpet in the back, bass player, piano player, Buddy. On the bus was the band, Buddy, me, the road manager, and the bus driver.
That's quite
We all traveled together and got to know each other pretty damn good.
Yeah, for sure.
And we did like one day in Toronto. We were scheduled to leave at 7 a.m. But, of course, the bus broke down. Now we got to stay a day or two. I'm reading the newspaper, beep, pop, pop. Emerson, Lake and Palmer's at the Toronto Garden that night. Buddy's good friends with Carl Palmer. I called up to Toronto Garden. I got tickets for about 8 of us. Went backstage, hung out, met the group, had a great time. At that time, I was not really out of my shell yet. I was a young kid.
How old were you at that point? You're a year and a half into this tour?
20. Yeah, okay. I was about 19, 20.
You're a kid right out of high school.
Right out of high school, I didn't know nothing. So I had a great time. In LA, we were there for a month. We played 4 nights with Tonight Show, Merv Griffin Show, Mike Douglas Show, and we did a show at the Starwood Theater on Santa Monica with Mel Torme and Ella Fitzgerald scatting for an hour and a half.
Wow.
What a show. And backstage, of course, Sinatra came backstage, Johnny Carson, Ed McMahon, and Sinatra standing there. And he said, Buddy says, "This is my kid. This is my boy. How you doing? How you doing, Howie?" And I couldn't say nothing. That's
Sure.
the one guy I was really flabbergasted by.
Sure.
Fucking Sinatra. You know what I
Blue
mean?
eyes gazing right at you, man.
There you go. And like I said, from there we went up to San Francisco. Now people don't know what it takes to put a show on, right? You know it. I know it. In LA, before we go, one of the trumpet players comes down with hepatitis C. Ain't
Oh,
that great?
yeah.
Now everybody's got to get 2 shots in your ass.
That wasn't the only horn he was blowing.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But now we gotta sit on the bus for 9 hours up to San Francisco like this. We get there. I gotta unload the bus, set up the stage, do the show, get back on the bus, and go to, I think it was Torrance, California. It was fun. You don't know. You don't know what the band goes through to put on a show for you people.
Yeah, no doubt. And what did you do after Buddy Rich?
Buddy Rich, after the show, well, there was a kid called Craig Morton, who was Stanley K's son or stepson, who wanted the gig. So Howie's out and Craig's in, right?
How it goes.
So I met people in LA. I'm not stupid. Uh, I think I went with Spyro Gyra, Weather Report, and Taj Mahal.
Wow.
For a little white guy, I had fun.
I
I
bet, man.
hooked up. I hooked up with Jocko from Weather Report.
Yeah.
Most of the time, we hung out. What a bass player!
Oh my
Unbelievable.
God.
Yeah, I mean him and Stanley Clark to me, to my heart. I listened to. Uh, and then from there, that was about a 6-month tour. Now I come back to New York because I'm lonely. Now I get a phone call. Oh, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, Jay and the Americans are doing I think it was an Evening of Solid Gold. Chuck Berry, the whole thing.
Wow.
But at this point, you got to realize I got away from the heavy lifting and stuff. I'm more of a backstage, handling it, taking care of the who gets backstage, taking care of who needs what backstage, or the how do you call it? Their needs, what they wanted.
The liaison.
I'm rolling, and I'm rolling. Uh, uh, all the shit. I'm cutting up the shit. I'm making sure everybody's happy. That's
Right.
all it was.
Perfect gig.
And then I went with Stevie Wonder at Carnegie Hall. I did that show for that was wonderful until I think I spilled a bucket of ice on Stevie. That wasn't great. A lot of girls on the road.
Was he not looking where he
girls.
was going?
Hmm?
Was he not looking where he was going when you spilled the ice on him?
I told him, why don't you get a wife that's blind? This way you save electricity. Jose Feliciano told me that joke. And of course, who else was there? Oh, the Knack, of course. The Knack was fun.
And what year did you do the Knack? Do you remember?
About 80, 81.
Was My Sharona out yet?
I remember the Carnegie Hall show. And they closed with a Beatles number. And we did the after show at the Rainbow Room at NBC Building in Rockefeller Center.
Oh, I know that room.
That I remember. I remember the girl that I took there. I remember stuff from the road, little details. Like when I was back with Buddy, we were in Oklahoma. Now, I have found a deli, which was great. I got myself a pastrami, and I got a black and white malted that I loved. And I brought back one and one for Buddy. I got a $50 a week raise for that, just for thinking about it. You know, that's the kind of stuff I did. If a magazine fell on the floor, you picked it up right away.
Yeah.
This is I took care of shit backstage.
You know, Howie, just to stop you for a second, there's a lot to be said, a lesson to be learned from everything you're saying here, which is that you got to make yourself indispensable. You got to make yourself that what you're doing is a niche. You just can't get somebody else to step right in and do what you're doing. It's a specialty thing that you created, you know?
The idea is to think ahead.
Yeah.
You know, when I was a waiter, if somebody ordered pasta, put the cheese on the table right away because you know they're going to need it.
That's right.
Think what the customer needs before they know they need it.
Yeah.
I know Buddy wants a cigarette at that time. I got the pack out and a lighter for him. You know, in the bus, I had to have a carton of Kent cigarettes. They were disgusting.
Yes, they. Yeah, no, you didn't worry about anybody smoking the Kents.
And I had to have a case of Perrier because he wanted a bottle of Perrier underneath his tom-tom. I needed a case of Twinkies. He loved Twinkies. And he loved Rolos, the chocolate with the caramel.
Yeah. Who doesn't love a Rolo?
You got to have that stuff. When he wants it, give me. No, we're out of them. What the fuck you mean we're out of them? And he would lay into me.
Of course.
Did you ever listen to the Buddy Rich rants on YouTube?
I have.
Oh, one of the trumpet players, or maybe one of the guys, we did a 2 45-minute sets. We do a set, go to the bus, tune up again, beep, pop, 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 and he would lay into the band and fuck them good.
Every fucking piece of music that I got in this book, and you go down and learn it. But when I call a tune, I expect to hear it played like fucking grown-up men, professional players. Every fucking piece of music that I've got in this book, you better rehearse. I call tunes when I feel like them. You better fucking know them. If I ever hear a show like I heard last night, it'll be bye-bye on the spot. Some fucking nerve for a performance like that. Players and soloists, kiss my ass. Go down that fucking book now. You better know it. When I call it to you, better fucking play it.
How do you play this? You're a piece of shit. You make it too many clams. I'm the best in the world, and I can play with anybody. What do I need you for? You play one more bad note, you're back to the beat, and yell at them for a half hour. There's 2 tapes on YouTube. Punch in Buddy Rich rants. It's phenomenal. But then again, he loved me. He was a nice guy. Working for him, I got fired a few times because instead of saying yes, I said yup. What do you mean yup? Do talk to me like this about 15 minutes later, 20 minutes later, we smoke a joint and everything's cool. You know what I mean? We were in, I do believe, Minnesota. And Buddy's screwing around. He's in half a good mood. And he's tuning up. And he says, give me an A. And one of the trumpet players goes, A. He says, get the fuck out of here. He put him on the plane that day to go back to New York.
Because he gave him the funds, huh?
Hey. Oh, hey. I love that. And just other good. I mean, I had so much fun. People should know what it's like to be on the road and be backstage and what goes on. And, the musicians, the talented quirks they have. Yeah. I know you were at Radio City for a long time. You
10 years.
saw a lot of people.
Yep.
Madison Square Garden, you saw a lot of people. I met them, and it's fun. It really is. Oh, I got one. Oh, I was with the Average White Band,
What year?
right? 81, 82.
Okay.
After I left one of the bands, I lived in Miami on 170. No, I forgot what street it was, but I'm driving down in my van and I hear music from a house. And they were outside. Yo, you need a roadie? You got experience? Come on. And it turned out to be Sandy Toronto, were from the Average White Band, and a bunch of the other guys. And I went in and I picked up that gig. But after you set up everything, my job was to sit on the side of the stage in a nice quiet corner where I could see everything. They could see me, but the audience can't. And I had a harmonica that I took the wood glue and I went do 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 do, so nothing falls out. And I had a little funnel and I filled it up with Coke. Boop, 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 boop. 17 holes or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Lights go out. Guitar player comes over, gives it back to me. Do, 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 do. Fill it up. The lead singer comes over. Boop, do, 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 do. And I just kept filling that harmonica up for the next 2 or 3 hours with the show. Nice. I could do as much as I want as long as they had theirs.
Yeah.
What else? The girls backstage. You know, the musicians wanted them there. They had to be there. It was fun. I met ladies on the road at hotels where the sign on the bus tells you which band they're with.
Yeah.
Buddy Rich, AWB, people, they're always there. But like I said, it's the best experience I had in my life. You know what I mean?
Well, what'd you do after AWB?
AWB, what did I do? I think after AWD was the Knack. No, the Knack was before them. AWB after that. Now you're talking the 70s, 80s are off. I'm drawing a blank now.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what I had for breakfast this morning, but I know what they played that night.
Yeah. Dig that. I mean, there's 800 passes on the wall behind me, and I couldn't tell you half of them what happened.
It's like, you were at that show? Yeah, but I don't remember it. I remember that I didn't screw anything up. With AWD, I'm green. I mean, I'm still a little green. The band's backstage, partying their brains out. I'm sitting out in front, and I see smoke. I go back, what? We got a problem, come on. The fog machine went off. And I felt like a complete jerk off. I'm telling them, the stage is on fire. We got to. And they come rushing out. It's the fog machine, you bam. You're slapping the head.
Nice.
That was good. But, you got to be ready. If a drum head breaks during the show, you got to be ready to change it. If the guitar string goes, you got to be able to change it. If a bass player string, you got to be ready. And most of the time, nothing happens. Nothing happens, but be there.
Yeah, I mean, when you were doing it, it was a time before all the real niche specialities. I mean, we need a guy to help us out with this, that, and the other thing. It wasn't like I need a guitar tech, a drum tech.
We did a lot of college shows. So you pull the bus up to the college auditorium, there's always 10 or 15 guys that want to help.
Yep.
Back off. Good. Left. I didn't let him touch the drum set. When we did the Carson show and Mike Douglas and Merv Griffin, it was all union.
Yeah.
You can't touch a thing.
Right.
So I hung out backstage, met everybody there. So the people I never collected autographs, pictures,
All
I
right.
just know that I had an experience with them.
Yeah.
Like Anne Margaret. She was my favorite. I loved that. I had a crush on her.
Oh, everyone on Earth did. Tell me about your Anne Margaret run-in.
Oh, did I tell you that?
No?
Well, I'm with Buddy. We're in Vegas.
Okay.
Oh, we're in LA. The band took the bus, and Buddy just bought a Ferrari. So we take the Ferrari to the desert. Now, it's
So
2 days later.
it's you and
Sammy
Buddy in the
Davis
Ferrari.
Jr. Hmm?
You and Buddy in the Ferrari going
And
from
a
LA to
Ferrari,
Vegas.
yeah.
That's awesome.
And Buddy's got his Ferrari hat on, looking like a total dick. But anyway, we get to the Vegas. About a day or two later, Sammy Davis Jr. has got a party up in his penthouse. Oh, whatever it is, not penthouse, but it's a nice party. Of course, Carson is there with McMahon and Severinsen. Sinatra's there again. Engelbert Humperdinck, Buddy Greco, and wherever you can see, there was A stars and B stars. So I'm like, yo, thinking to myself, this is fun. And then Anne Margaret sitting by herself at a table with a cup of coffee. Okay, there's a little plate, and she's putting the sugar in. Bada bing, bada boom, bada ching, bada bang. And Sammy comes walking by. What the fuck are you doing? He had just bought, I don't know how much it was, a bunch of Coke for this guest. So we can have a little cocaine, the party goes.
Yeah.
She's putting in her coffee. Holy shit. People are laughing. We pulled it away from her. I dipped in. I didn't mind. It was a nice taste to me.
Yeah.
And I think we saved her life. I really did.
Probably.
If she would have drank that, it would have been all over.
Holy crap.
Yeah, that was
I killed Anne Margaret.
That's my Anne Margaret story. She was great. But you meet Paul McCartney, you meet Ringo Starr, which to me, I met two Beatles.
Yeah.
You know, I meet the other two. John Lennon, I used to meet on the street because my brother had an apartment at 149 West 72nd, which is like 10 doors away from the Dakota. So we'd see them at the fruit market, walking down the street, and you just say hello. You nod.
Yeah.
You didn't say, well, John, John, oh my God, I'm your biggest fan.
They don't want to hear that shit.
You don't want to hear. They don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah.
Walking down, I give them just the, how you doing? And they say hello. Yoko was a nice little lady. You know, I never had a bad experience.
Yeah, nice, man. Well, tell me, what was your last show?
My last show that I worked?
Yep, last working.
Last one I worked was at Roseland.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I got caught on 52nd, 53rd, and 8th Avenue. It was a big band show. It was Count Basie's band. He already died. I think Tito Fuentes was there. It was all bands. And my cousin just called me to handle the backstage area. Don't touch anything. Just hang out and see what people need. Look
What
in
year
their
was
eyes.
that?
That was at the end. That was 82, I think. That was at the end. And then I moved to Florida because I got into a lot of cocaine. So I moved to Florida to get away from coke in New York.
You might have been going in the wrong direction.
Yeah. So then I got into restaurants. And I was a waiter, bartender. I got to be a manager at the end back in New York when I came up. And I went through 3 marriages, 3 rehabs, 3 divorces.
Life goes on, man, you know?
Between the restaurants and being on the road, there's no relationships.
No.
What are you going to do? You know?
No,
I like being in love.
Right.
I like getting married. I just didn't like being married. You know, I think that was it. But yeah. I still talk to 2 of my ex-wives.
Yeah, 2 of them is not bad.
The second one is in prison right now. So maybe she got out. I don't know. She got into meth. She got into meth, armed robbery, and distribution. So we don't talk to her.
Yeah,
But anyway, what else you want to know about the road? Well, different towns, different. I love Memphis. Memphis, New Orleans, New Orleans
New
was good
Orleans
to me.
back at that time. I mean, just everything off the hook. First off, when you guys left town and you went to the next town, you were 100% off the grid. There was no way to
Yeah,
find you. There was no
no,
cell phone, no nothing.
no, it
There
wasn't.
was no
I
map
would have
quest.
a thing with my parents. I would call, no, he's not here, and leave a number to call back.
Yeah.
We did a little thing like that. Evelyn Good. I would ask for Evelyn Good. No, Evelyn Good's not here, saying everything's good, and they'd call back. But New Orleans, again, we were there for a month, and we only played a couple of nights at a club called Roadies. It was fun, and I'm sitting there having dinner. Buddy's playing. I didn't have to work, and Randy Bachman comes walking over, and who else was there? Well, the band, the BTO came over, and they wanted to buy Buddy a drink. Hey, he's not drinking, And once in a while, we would open up a good bottle of wine on the bus. That was about it.
Yeah.
Just pot. He loved pot. Between a bus ride between Toronto and New York is 9 hours. I took a drum head, cleaned it out, and rolled 600 motherfucking joints. And it was ironic because now I have neuropathy and I can't roll one. He loved it.
You're only allowed to roll so many in a lifetime, so you might have used up your allotment.
Yeah, I reached my limit and a couple of other people's limits.
Yeah.
The partying that I've done, I want to go to Yale University and find out why I'm still alive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it wasn't just working, it was partying with them. Oh, I managed room service at the Berkshire Place Hotel on Madison Avenue. And everybody on Saturday Night Live stayed there. It was a contract. So the Allman Brothers would stay there. And I had room service from midnight to 7 in the morning, which was their hours to party.
Peak time.
So
peak time.
Greg Allman, the band, Keith English was a background singer I got friendly with. Phil Collins, the Stones were there doing I think Tattoo You. I'm not sure what album, but they stayed at the hotel for more than a month. And every night, Ronnie and Keith up in the room, partying and having fun. And I told my waiter, I'll go up there. I was the manager. I'll take this one. Dom Perignon and caviar, because I think Jovan was sponsoring the tour. So signing it, I added 20%. They put another 25%. We're making money left
New York
and right.
way.
Yeah. Ronnie's offering me some lines. Fine. Keith's in the corner cooking up. And he's offering, I said, Keith, I don't hammer. Yeah. No, you can mix it. Do a little snort. You're good.
I got a combo.
That doesn't sound like a bad idea.
Yeah.
Then, of course, I had backstage passes. I went with them to Philadelphia to JFK Stadium. I took time off. I hung out. The best experience. I was in Greenwich Village one day, walking down McDougal Street. And the cafes are outside?
Oh, yeah.
I'm walking with a girl, can't remember her name for shit, but I was saying, Howie, come here. Who wants me? It was Ronnie Wood, and a couple of friends. Come here, sit down, join us. And Ronnie Wood's invited me to sit down with him.
That's awesome.
That was awesome. That was when they recognize you. They recognize me. No, I recognize you.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's the fun of it. What else you want to know? Come on, give me something.
No, you're just telling your story, man. It's what it's all about.
That's it. It was just, and like I said, you can't make this shit up. You really can't.
Yeah.
You know, if you had, if it's the truth, you don't need a good memory.
That's Judge Judy
You know,
rules. I live by it.
yeah. You know what I mean? Did you? I saw Pablo Cruz in Return to Forever with Stanley Clark and Al Di Meola at
Wow.
I think it was the Palladium, but it could have been the Academy of Music. What a show! And Jeff Beck was there too. And I had tickets for Hot Tuna at the Palladium at the Academy of Music. We had great seats. The day before they broke up. So Yoma Kekkonen just shows up with the guitar and sits there for a couple hours playing Yorma and the audience. The Allman Brothers, I've probably seen 30 times. Yes, I've never seen Yes without doing 2 hits of acid.
A 2-hit minimum, yeah.
Yeah, I love Yes.
Yeah, they're great. A buddy of mine just did a tour with Ian Anderson. Not Ian Anderson, but John Anderson, the singer from Yes, who's got his own thing
here's
going.
a good one. Sid Bernstein had the contract for Radio City, as you know.
I done.
Jethro Tull, we played 3 nights or 2 nights. I forgot what it was. I got ticket. They were $10 a ticket. This was before I went on the road. I think I was 17 or 18. I bought it for $10 from Uncle Sid, and I sold them for 20. I'd come back with another $200. Give me more tickets. I had a floor plan of who was sitting, who with where. I saved the 13th row for myself and my friends. And everybody wants to turn me on. And whack, we had a great time. But nice. The key here is before the Friday night show, I think it was 7:30 or 8 o'clock, my father called me up and said, get down to Radio City now. Dad, I'm going there tonight. I got tickets, they won't. Now, so you don't argue. He was one of those guys with the stare and the voice.
Yeah.
Now. So I get on the GG train to the F train that drops me on 50th Street, and I walk to Radio City. It turns out to be Uncle Sid wanted to show me there was an hour and a half sound check. So I'm sitting in the audience with Sid and my real cousin, Billy Fields, who's a great guy, listening to a sound check. Guys mopping up or sweeping up.
Yeah.
And what an experience. And then, of course, we go backstage and drink Heineken's. So I'm sitting there drinking Heineken's with Ian and Martin Bear and the rest of the band. Another great experience.
Because I could tell you, 10 years at Radio City, I never once drank Heineken's there.
Really? Well, I wasn't working yet.
Yeah.
But we did it. We survived, and we're here to tell a story.
That's it.
You know Howie, what I mean?
I really appreciate you taking the time,
problem.
Brother. You know, and let's absolutely do this again. And I will, and I look forward to talking to you again, man.
Keep in touch with me periodically. I always I'll like all your posts and your videos. And we haven't even gotten to the Chelsea Hotel with Sid Vicious and Nancy.
Oh, well, okay. We're gonna end on that. Let's hear about the Chelsea Hotel.
15th Street and 7th Avenue, and it was right around the. Oh yeah. All right, we'll do that. Peter,
good times,
keep in touch with yourself. Have a great day. Peter, it's been a real freaking pleasure.
Same thing here, brother.
Have a great day.
I'll reach out to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, man.